Welcome to Minnesota. Podcast, we talk about us arriving here, our trip, what we're going to be doing in the next week or so. And we asked,
crack 'em if you got 'em, son!
Let's go. How about them Cowboys?
Crack 'em if you got 'em. Yeah! Let's go, baby! Please hit him. Somebody punch him, please.
Hey, you want one of these? Coors?
Dude, you got a yellow belly. You knew exactly what
I know, you were looking me up and down. I knew what you wanted. You want a banquet?
Yes.
Crack 'em if you got 'em.
Jerry! Pick us up, Jerry! We're not worthy!
Oh, Cowboys can fan.
Cowboys can.
Like Canadian fan, can fan.
Oh.
Cowboys can fan.
Love Canada.
Yeah.
I'll look you up.
Awesome, thanks brother. Take care, man. And look, that's how you get subscribers. And nowadays, it's a dog eat dog world. It's a dog eat dog world. We got to go on the street to get subscribers now.
I'll be like, there'll be a guy at the grocery store and I'll hear him say something about Facebook. I'm like, oh, you do Facebook? You ever heard of CanFan? At Cowboys CanFan. Have you ever checked us out at Cowboys CanFan on any major platform? Because we're on all of them.
Dude, go to tiktok.com/@CowboysCanFan.
Yeah, we have a channel, yeah.
What's your channel?
Cowboys CanFan.
I'm gonna watch that. I'm
Cowboys
from Puerto Rico.
CanFan. We're from Canada, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's CanFan on his shirt there.
I'm gonna watch that when I go.
Yeah, do it. You guys will be on our YouTube.
Can I come all the way from Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico? Hell yeah.
See, that's
Son of a bitch.
Let's go. We're gonna be cracking them if we got them, baby. Let's go. Not often are you gonna have the Vegas Strip shut down like this, so we're gonna take advantage of it. And we're gonna shotgun one for you, son. Crack them if you got them, son. Woo! Crack them if you got them, son.
Yeah, Rolly, come on.
I've never met a real Eagles fan in real life. I'm from Canada. This is my first time out of my country. Well, hey, I don't say this often, but go f yourself.
Only an Eagles fan would have to promote a Giants or a different club's signage to try to get friends.
Crack them if you got them, son.
Crack 'em if you got 'em.
Hey, he hasn't heard though. Do you know who's winning the Super Bowl next year? The Cowboys.
The fucking Cowboys.
Got him!
9 a.m. out in Thailand, and Zion Johnson just got picked by the Chargers, which kind of sucks because I was really hoping that the Cowboys would.
TJ Watt, that taking Taco Charlton over TJ Watt is probably one of the worst. What are you doing over there?
I'm stretching my neck, bro.
I love it because it is literally.
I actually thought you were falling asleep, man.
Hey, Paul, it is 2:30 here. It's 2:30 p.m.
Yeah.
2:30 p.m. No,
We've been drinking since 9 o'clock this morning. It is currently 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's a long haul.
And
I kind of low-key hate the 10 a.m. games.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
for sure, on a scale of 1 to 10, if you're getting turned up on a Turpentine 10 a.m. game, guess what? You're getting drunk. Yeah. Hot dogs.
Cute guys, real cute.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Crack 'em if you got 'em.
Yeah! Cowboys! Cowboys! I'll scream enough for all of us, don't worry.
Crack 'em if you got it.
Oh! First thing I gotta do when I get in is eat something. We got him, baby. Woo! Just sprayed the fuck out of him with that. Oh, there was nothing left.
Oh, he got him. This is a private moment for us, but hey, we did it.
Worth it.
We made it. With
Yeah, blast so far.
every day.
Hey, talk to me at the end of the game. If we get our fucking asses spanked like last week, I will cry in public. No, I have faith. We're not fucking losing
At
today.
least we had one side of the ball playing.
Crack them if you got them. Crack them if you got them.
Can I talk on it?
Hey, I've seen this face before. Last night outside Target.
Crack him if you got him.
In fairness, we had eaten 3 briskets and 1 fucking rib. If there's one thing that our military families have taught us, it's no man is left behind. How about them Cowboys?
Go, baby. Let's fucking go. Who do we got? Who do we got? Tyler Smith. Let's go. I was just trying to help you out and not. Oh, okay, good.
Fuck you, dickhead.
It's never nice. It's never nice. Let him pass it in that.
It's voluntary. You need to acknowledge that. That shit is so gross.
It's so bad it stains the bottom of
Let's go, bro.
Oh man, that is fucking nasty.
Wow.
Age, Age, you're gonna make me puke. Just watching him do that almost made me puke.
Well, I was close to 18. On the wrong thing, though.
Hey, you guys want to give me some
Off the grid.
It's like I say our podcast is like a good Quentin Tarantino movie. You don't know where we're going, but by the end of the cast, you're like very satisfied with what just happened.
First time I've ever heard him say that, but I
said it.
agree.
I said it. Well, I at least said it once.
First
before.
time I've ever listened to you.
See, this is what I love about you guys. You just go with the flow. That's just what I love about it.
What I want to
That's because
ask
we
you.
drink the whole time and we just get so
Yeah.
off.
But guess what? We will tie in the end. We tie up the loose ends that need to be tied. The ones that don't, no one remembers anyway.
Okay, just give
Well,
a
I have a question.
Give a clean crack him if you got him, ass. Go for it.
Crack him if you got him, son. Let's go, baby. Shotgun! 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 So anyone watching right now, when Trevon Diggs I think the ball might have hit the ground.
I think so too. I think so too.
I think the ball might have hit the ground, but when Trevon Diggs gets an interception, we shotgun a beer up in this motherfucker. I think it might have hit the ground though. I think it might have hit the ground. That's a fucking interception. Let's go, baby!
God, this is
in here.
I know. I'm actually. Are you feeling good?
Oh yeah, I'm feeling good.
AJ, get over
You
here.
have the shotgun knife?
Yeah. Shotgun knife is in hand. This great Swiss Army.
Schultz on Banas.
Crack him if you got him. Woo! Can Fan Podcast. If Diggs gets another. If Dig gets another one.
Boosh, boosh, boosh.
Would you just look at it?
boosh.
I thank each and every one of y'all for always giving me your bodies.
Yeah!
Hey-o.
Welcome to the main event! Cowboys can fan.
Crack them if you got them, sip them if you grip them, clink them if you drink them. It's the main event, baby.
Mix them if you fix them.
Mix them if you're fix them.
Mix it if you're fixed. Like Coach.
Oh, yeah.
Coach what?
Vasectomy.
Vasectomy coach.
Fossil.
Fossil.
The special teams. John Fossil.
Coach Fossil and bandwagon boy number 1. That's right.
I just love when we're coming in hot because ads always dress very professionally.
Yeah, this is kind of, and like just swap. This hat doesn't usually fit me the way I like to, so I have like my LA Dodgers hat that I wear because I don't give a fuck about baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So swap out this hat and add a Dodgers hat, and that's what I actually look like in a work day.
I mean, you're called bandwagon boy 1 for a reason. I wouldn't expect you to have any other hat than an LA Dodger hat, to be honest. Out of all the baseball hats, maybe a Blue Jays hat.
Got one
because we're Canadian.
Got it, and I
But
wear it.
if I was gonna guess Alex's baseball team, I would say he'd be the Giants.
Ooh, no. I think I'm an athletics guy just from the old baseball game I used to play back in the night. Like, I don't know, it must have been 96 or something, Sega. And the team that was stacked was the Oakland Athletics.
Oakland A's.
So that's why I
green
like
and yellow. Green and yellow is never a good combo.
Simple.
It's a good combo.
And a simple, nice handwritten A.
Well, so sports app, aka Sports Pro 2.0. What up, dog? He's asking if he goes, y'all not Ranger fans. I mean,
hey, you know what? Because I got one of us. No, we're Canadian, bro. We're Cowboys fan. We're Canadian fans, as we like to explain to everyone. We're not really baseball fans, but if I had to pick a team, I'll go with the Rangers. Let's go Rangers.
Let's go
Texas Rangers
well,
for the
win.
win.
You know what? So I will do this on our upcoming Thanksgiving trip. Usually when I go to a city, I'll buy crack 'em if you got 'em.
Crack 'em if you got 'em, son.
Can't hear Ant's.
It's too high pitch.
I'll buy a baseball hat for the city that I usually go. So I went to Boston. I bought a Red Sox hat. New York, I got a Yankees hat. Sorry, I'll even not a Mets hat.
In true bandwagon.
Absolutely.
Right? You got to do it.
But I will say this, since maybe week 2 or 3 of the 2021 season, I haven't worn another football team's paraphernalia besides Cowboys.
Well, you better fucking not. That will be, man, we will condemn you. I will get snapshots. I'm gonna
Snapchat you. I'm gonna put a filter on my face and I'm gonna cuss you out.
I can almost smell this.
I will fucking dox you. I don't care if you are my brother.
The only team would be your sons.
Right. But even then,
if they have,
because it's their technical is the city plus the giant. It's called Giants. I won't wear.
You can have Chilliwack Giants. It has to. If you wear any Giants gear, it has to say Chilliwack Giants.
It has to say CG on it instead of just Giants because they have the Giants.
All right. Well,
logo.
how you guys doing? I mean, we weren't on Sunday. Adam and I were in Whistler on a little mini vacation. AJ, how you been?
Only us together.
Only us together. Alex, how you doing?
He couldn't hear you right now because he was fixing stuff.
He was fixing stuff.
He was fixing for a fixin'.
You know, I can tell when I leave my laptop charger unplugged because my computer will just shut down.
AJ looks like a guy that asked me for money outside McDonald's the other day.
And?
I gave him money.
Did you say AJ? How did
you AJ?
Do you actually carry cash on you, or did you like Venmo him, or did you e-transfer him?
I had some change.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, life must be hard for the I don't know what they're called, panhandlers.
Transients?
Because most people aren't carrying.
No, it's all right. I got Square. Just tap me.
Do you take tap? No, but I have this pad. I don't know my PIN pad. Sorry.
That's right. Just log up to my email list.
Can't transfer you.
Hey,
all right, welcome to the Cowboys Can Fan Podcast,
where
we like to get a little bit off topic. We haven't seen each other or talked to each other for a while, so we got to do the bullshitting. It's the off season. We like to keep it spicy.
Keep it spicy.
But we're getting close, guys. We're getting close to us going to training camp here in August in Oxnard.
2 weekends.
I'm getting excited. 2 weekends. Is that what we're away? 2
or
weekends
3
away
weekends. I'm sorry. 3 weekends. 3 weekends away.
So what? 22 sleeps, 21
This
sleeps,
one,
something like that.
then another one, and then another one. Technically, we're about a month away, nearly, but still.
And that's right. I mean,
I'm excited, like it's Christmas morning.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
The best part about it, we've talked about this before on the podcast. We get to go to training camp, but then we also get to go to the Cowboys at Seahawks preseason game, which is sweet. So we literally CanFan gets a hand-on access to the preseason. It just feels awesome. Like this is a huge step for us, and I'm super excited for it. It gives us something to look forward to, because I'm thirsty for some NFL, baby. I'm really thirsty for it.
I'm looking forward to continuing our journey through off season because we spent a lot of time during the draft. We've obviously spent a lot of time talking about Cowboys every single week. So the fact that we are at training camp in person almost like attaches us a little bit more to that off-season narrative. And then even the preseason game, it's like it feels like it's a regular season game because we'll be there.
I
for sure.
I'm excited to test out my new sleeping headphones that'll allow me to sleep while Adam Saw's fucking logs.
Well, realistically, our Airbnb, we all have separate rooms.
Yeah, baby.
Well,
so
wasn't I in the room with you? Like we had separate beds. Come on, guys.
No, I think there's two rooms in the living room.
I think there's 2 rooms.
Oh, the one that we have.
I'll couch it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I'll sleep on the couch all day, baby.
The one that we have, yes. The last one I thought you said.
No, the last one.
We shared a hotel room, us 3. So Alex was in the cave with two loud motherfuckers, 2 bears, 2 grizzly bears hibernating. Like I couldn't even imagine.
I was Mowgli.
Yeah, that's right. He was Mowgli with a mustache. And actually, your mustache is coming in so good.
All right, what do we got going on, AJ? What do you got on the docket here?
Okay, well, we did this last week.
Nobody cares about Cowboy news. They just want to hear about our stories. You know, come on.
We did this last week, and boom, right on par. They updated the questions again. So instead of only having 4 questions, we're gonna have another 5. But the DallasCowboys.com are doing top 20 questions of Cowboys Nation. Last week, we did questions, I think, 14 to 20. This week, we're going to go, and they just added the new one, so we get another one. Woohoo! 9 to 13. And what we're doing is we're just reading the questions. We're not caring about their answers, and we're giving you our answers, okay? We might dip in just for some insights if we want it, but we're not really interested in telling you what they say. We're going to tell you what we think. So,
well, what was question 14? What was question 14? Because I don't think we did 14. I think we did 15.
No, who's ready to make the first Pro Bowl?
Yeah, we did that one, and we did.
Did 50, we do that one?
We did 15, and we did.
Then we did everything for. I'm pretty sure.
We're 9 into 13.
Hey, we can tap on it again too.
But
no, you're right. I remember seeing those. I remember seeing Dono and Damone together.
Yeah, me too.
Can you go back up to that picture for a sec?
Which one?
The first picture.
Okay, don't cheat.
And so is the question going to be, will Scooney shave his head?
I mean, they're asking him.
Hey, who's got the buzzer? Who's got the clippers? Huh?
And did they take the picture? Like, did they go from tallest to shortest? Because that's what the picture looks like.
They guys, they're professional. They're professionals. They know the type of photos that are going to get clicked on. Again, it looks like, okay, guys, so we need to take a photo for the yearbook, or it looks like a staged photo, a completely staged photo.
Guys, can you walk to? Okay, guy, like a wedding photo.
Yeah.
Okay, walk towards us and talk and have fun.
Walk in half, and this is when we're filming with clients. We're always like, okay, we want to get some shots of talking and laughing. So this is a talking and laughing shot right now, and they're all doing a very fantastic job. They're open to the camera. They're walking probably at half speed.
Let's see what the question here, though, is who wins starting role at tight end?
So are we starting at 9?
Yeah. Should we start at 9, roll backwards?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it. I like it.
Makes it
yes, sir.
Let's be crazy.
Since we don't give a shit about their answers, we're creating our own answers.
So who's starting at tight end, guys?
Well, here we're looking at McKeon, Ferguson,
Scooney, and Hendershot.
Okay, I was a little confused with Ferguson and Hendershot there, but that's
87. The reason I know 87 is Fergie is that's my birth year. I'm an 87 kid.
Just his leg tattoo is another.
It's another giveaway. And his face is totally different. It's just the side profile. But, okay, so I think obviously we all know McKeon is probably 4th on that list. Is that fair to say?
I agree with that. Yes, 100%.
The real question is these next 3 guys. Ferguson, Hendershot, and Scooney. I think it really comes down to, though, Ferguson and Scooney from kind of what, I don't know. I'm not saying that this is my perspective, but we're talking about the biggest questions Cowboys Nation has. And so I'm just presenting the question in that way, giving a little bit more context to it. But you guys can answer however you want. Me, I'm hard as a fucking rock on Scooney. I really believe
we know that. I can see it right now.
I believe he's going to come in and fill in very nicely for the departure of Schultze.
Right. Now, does Scooney, so you're saying Scooney is going to be the starting, but do you think Scooney plays the Ferg role and Ferg plays the Schultze role?
Well, this is where I think the question becomes hard, is I don't know that there is a starting quote-unquote tight end, especially if they keep all 4.
Schultze was a starting tight end.
Schultze was, but I just think...
Hey, he gone, though. He gone, though.
He gone.
Don't you dare say that about big handballer.
I think you've seen it now. Okay, if Ferguson can continue to play with more reps, more opportunities at the same level he did with his small amount of opportunities and reps that he did, which was still very good. Yeah. If both those guys can do it, they don't really need Schoonmaker to jump in there and fill up that much, I think, 600 yards and 800 yards roughly was what Schultz got last year. It's really not a lot to ask someone to do, right? So, I would love an 800-yard season, and I'm really, really high on that for Schooney. But even if he comes in and does 300 yards, and then Ferguson and Hendershot fill in the blank for the rest of that space, I'm not going to complain. I look at it as a group, and what you want to see the group do.
Yeah, there's one person from that group that I think is going to help spread those numbers, spread Schultze's numbers out, and that's our boy Hunter Lepke, or my boy Hunter Lepke. I think he's going to get some of those tight end tight end throws. Yep. But ultimately, I think, and Jeremiah said Ferg is going to take that role. I think Ferg is going to be the person that we see at the start of the season be that number 1. But I think Hendershot, as well as Scooney is a sailboat, has a solid chance to supersede Fergalicious and take that number 1 spot.
I just hope it's an open competition. Whoever's the best guy out of training camp gets it. And obviously I'm kind of leaning toward what Ad said. It starts off with Fergalicious. And yeah, all the clone zone has nicknames. We don't call them by the real names. Get the fuck. If you don't know Cam fan lingo, get the fuck out of here. Fergalicious. Scooney, Shooney, S Maker. That's
Scooney is a sailboat.
And Hendershot just has the perfect last name.
Hendershot sounds like
you don't have to
shot
or just Hendo.
And then McKeon, we don't really ever say his name. But I honestly do think Fergalicious is probably going to start the season as the starting tight end. But I don't think it's one of those spots with this offense that there really is going to be, and I think this is what Alex said, a true number 1. I honestly think they're going to kind of be interchangeable. And as long as they're producing, as long as they're blocking hard, and as long as, I don't really care if a guy gets a bunch of yards, as long as he's out there and he's producing big running stats for our running backs. The reason Jason Witten was so good was because not only was he a premier catching tight end, he was one of the best blocking tight ends in the NFL. He could line up against defensive ends on just himself and block a defensive end. So if you can get a guy that's even half like that blocking, it'd be awesome if he could also do get receptions and touchdowns. But it's going to be an interchangeable thing and a bunch of pieces going at once, which I'm excited for. It's super excited for this room.
Our boy Ultra Cowboy says Schoonmaker is the best tight end on the roster. He then goes on to, even though we're agreeing with him, he says Schoonmaker is your tight end number 1. Cowboy fans are locos. There's the reason the Cowboys drafted a tight end in the 2nd round. Cowboys are not high on Ferguson.
Yeah, I agree. You take a skill position player. So in 2021, we took Sam Williams, right? Or sorry, 2022, we took Sam Williams at defensive end. It's not really a skill spot, but they upgraded the room. You draft a guy in the 2nd at a skill position like tight end. In my mind, they're saying they want him to be
at least the starter by week 5, week 6.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think that makes good sense. You got to put on the shoes that are worn on, that are worn in first, walk around, and then once Scooney gets up to speed, up to that NFL speed, and this is not a bad problem to have. It's not a great thing to have, but it's not a bad thing to have because it really depends on how the offense is considering utilizing tight ends.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, like, to me, if it's Hendershot, Fergie, or Scooney is a sailboat, I don't care which one it is. I want solid blocking and I want clutch. I want clutch catches when it matters.
Well, that's the yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Anth.
You know, Dak's looking at you on that critical moment. In this offense, the tight end's going to get one-on-one matchups against linebackers. If Dak goes to you on a key third down, I'm going to be standing there going, "This is the biggest third down of the game." We all know that. If you don't pull up and catch it, you better know there's 2 dudes behind you that are willing to take that chance or take those reps from you. So it's one of those things. The competition of all these 4 guys is just going to benefit all of them.
Yeah, and I like this theory. I like that theory too because I think just on paper, and we'll see how well that translates to the next level for Scooney, but he's a better blocker. I think he might be considered the best blocker. Maybe McKeon might be on par with him. But then in a red zone, either one of our 3 top dogs or all 3 of the top dogs out there, depending the package, I have confidence in them that they can get open and get those hard yards. We've seen, a short amount of highlights, but they were fun highlights from Hendo and Fergalicious. So we know that they can catch the ball and fight for those yards. And if that's like what Dak needs in the red zone, and maybe Scooney's going to be the best out of that. But if he's the worst, I still think that's covered in tight end.
Well, Ultra is on the same boat as you, AJ. Ultra Cowboy has a major rock for Schoonmaker. He says Schoonmaker played in a pro offense.
We should dock. We got a dock. We got a dock.
in offense, his blocking skills will have him starting by week 1. Divine Gun says something that I completely agree with. It's situational with all these options. So
yeah.
When we look
totally.
at like
100%.
Yeah. So having a fleet of them, which he brought up, that it looks like we're going back to a fleet of options.
Ooh, I like a fleet.
A fleet. So
that's why you clone them, baby.
We need a fleet.
And Scooney, Captain Scooney.
Captain Scooney comes in as this freaking like non-clone looking perfect specimen.
He kind of looks like they might have mixed in some Mike McCarthy batter in that clone.
On Scooney?
Yeah, just
I don't know. Maybe a little bit.
All right. Well, we're all satisfied with the tight ends then, and excited.
Okay, yeah. So let's say this: we're gonna settle on Fergie, Scooney, 1A, 1B. We don't know which.
Yeah.
At the start of the season, Hendershot, McKeon.
Yeah.
Well, and here we're all in agreement, Ultra Cowboys. So just before you start to panic and want to clap back at us, preemptively say that we're like all Cowboy fans, we all agree. Schoonmaker.
They drafted him for
Schoonmaker was drafted for a reason. He's probably going to make the starting role. Will it be by week 1? I don't think it's going to be clear cut by week 1. I think by week 2, 3 we'll have a better
I give him
idea.
week 6 myself.
You think so?
Hey guys, we're gonna find out in training camp. We're gonna be there live.
Hell yeah, we are.
Yeah, and not only
we'll get the footage. We'll get it all.
Yeah, not only are we going to be there live, but our boy, 2-time CanFan Award winner Bocce Eric will be there live, and he says a nice big crack him if you got him, baby.
If you got him.
Just on that note too, before we move to question 10, we do. I hope it's good enough. Like we got to find a way to do quick clips, get them out to the old twit.
Bro,
I don't know if you guys are threading it.
Bro,
we have to.
Yeah.
We have to. We got
Gosh, we will be.
Shall we move on? Question 10.
Move on. Let's 10 it up, baby.
So question 10, the most important game on the Cowboys schedule. I'm gonna open this one because
this is a tricky question.
I saw
this.
We talked about this. We were saying that the San Francisco game is going to be the most important game because they've lost to San Francisco the last 2 years in playoffs.
Yeah, but it's early playoffs, but it's early in the season. It's like week 5, where the second time we play Philadelphia is later on in the season. So
you think the second Philly game would be more important than the first Philly game?
Yeah, the week 14. Hell, fucking yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
Here's a
that's
schedule
sorry,
here
yeah,
from the Blog with the Boys, guys, just so we can kind of take it in, because I think. Oh wait, this is.
So the question right now for audio
This is wrong
listeners
here. Hang
is
on, let me
the
get this.
audio listeners. The question right now is, which is the most important game on the Cowboys
that was right.
schedule? Hey, AJ, you had the right thing up.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know why I panicked and thought New York Giants weren't the week one, but
We're
okay.
opening Sunday Night Football at New York, and I can't wait for that one.
So certainly I agree. Just to chime in to the conversation that I cut off there, guys. Sorry. Anything post bye week has more weight than pre bye week. I think that's fair. And anything in from week 13 to 16 is huge.
Okay, so
I think that's why that week 14 Eagles game.
Okay, so
15 Bills.
So
15 Bills.
Okay, so you guys
15 Bills.
You guys are saying Eagles, Bills. I said 49ers. Ultra says 49ers.
Dolphins week 16. Like they're
Lynn's just
the
said
Lions.
Lynn's just comes in and says the Dolphins just at
Lynn's with the Dolphins.
giving you that.
Lynn's best.
Kahuna's saying the Bills one at the end of the season is going to be huge. So I mean, yeah. Look, this is a good schedule for the Cowboys to shut people up with how easy our schedules have been. So there's a lot of games in the regular season, regardless. All the games that we mentioned are going to be big games.
Let me ask it a different way.
You have to pick one.
No, okay. But let me, I want to throw it at a reverse way for you. What's a worse loss? Week 5 to San Francisco, week 14 to the Eagles, or week 15 to the Bills?
Give me
week
more of a
16 to the
scenario.
Dolphins.
Week 16 to the Dolphins.
Or 17 to the Lions. The Lions are possibly going to be a playoff team this year. Like, you put a good AJ. You put a good 13 to 18.
Yeah.
Obviously, any of those games
could
are weighted heavy.
It could go right up to. The only reason I say 18 is because it just tends to be the week where teams take it off. However, good point out with it being Washington. It's not a take. It's not a take a week off game.
Well, we got our asses kicked by them at the end of the year last year.
Yeah, and it's
They
just
smoked us going into the playoffs.
It's more than likely going to be too valuable of a win.
Okay,
because it's a divisional win that you need to.
Let me give you guys a little bit of a pulse on this. Okay, let me get you guys pulsing here. So Ultra says the 49ers game will tell us a lot about this team.
Yes.
Bocce Eric says we better not lose in San Francisco again.
I like 40. By the way, I like 49ers in week 5.
It's a sexy game.
It's a sexy game. It's a no excuse week either.
And Kahuna says, well, I mean, any interdivision loss is obviously worse than the other. That's just a fact. So he is correct.
Yes, very true. And
Definitely.
That's why I say week 14 Eagles.
Yeah.
Those automatically, those division games automatically are a little bit more. Yeah, it sucks that we lost to San Fran a couple times in the postseason, but week 5 against San Fran, if you flip San Fran to anywhere between 13 and 18, weeks 13 and 18, that's the game. 100%.
Yes.
That's
Divine Gun.
Could lose to San Francisco in week 5 and still be completely fine.
I thought you froze and you were gone. I thought you were doing it on a fake. I was like, wow, he's making a really good point right now. And you just froze.
And then you just freeze up.
Divine Gun says the Cardinals and Rams are the only easy games on here and can't sleep one New York Giants or Washington at all, which is true. So I agree with you guys. I mean, the back half of our season is not great. It's exciting. A lot of this is going to be situational where we're sitting in terms of like the season, what the rest of the teams are doing. The reason I think number 5 is a pretty big week for us in terms of San Francisco is it's just because that was the crux the last 2 years. And I think
it's a mental thing.
It's that mental battle with Dakota. And obviously early on in the season, a win can help drive them through the rest of the season. A loss allows them still time to work shit out if it's just not happening. So I think
I'll just say this: these games between week 13 and 18, I'm just glad they're competition compared to last year when we were barely getting by the Houston Texans, barely getting by the Indianapolis Colts, losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars in overtime. I'm just so glad we're not playing a division that shouldn't be anywhere near us. Like, you looked at those games and everyone was like, okay, these are 3 easy wins. We went 2-1 in those 3 games and barely got out of the Houston and Indianapolis games. So I'm excited that the back end of the schedule is tough because with that slate of games, if we're in contention to go to the postseason, We're gonna be battle tested, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Going in, forcing yourself to keep that high level of competition. This is why that week 5 loss to San Fran, if you lose to San Fran in week 5, by a horrible defeat or by a very close game, you've got from week 5 to week 18 to fix yourself up. And by the time you get to the playoffs, you can feel playoffs, baby. You can feel like, look, we're a changed team. If that happens 3-4 weeks ago, crack them if you got them. 3 or 4 weeks ago, it's a little harder to shake to call that out.
Okay, so we're putting into a vote. Ad's going with the chat. He's saying San Francisco. I think AJ and I are both settling on Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's a home game too.
I'm a man of the people. We all know that. So
we're realists. So AJ and I are realists. We're going. So
crack them if you got them.
Crack if you got them.
Either way, we want dubs in both those games.
Dubs in both. Dubs in both. Dubs in both.
Dubs and chubs.
And
dubs and chubs.
I think they're saying Eagles. Patrick Walker says Eagles. Kurt Daniels says 49ers. And fucking Nick Eatman, get out of here. Week 2. We're not
week 2? Who the fuck are we playing in week 2? I didn't even look at that.
Did they clickbait us with that photo?
That week fucking 2? Really? That's I get it. We're playing against Aaron Rodgers and stuff, but like week 2, man, that's like saying last year the biggest game of the season was against Tom Brady and the Bucks in week 1.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick can eat some man stuff, if you know what I mean.
Ooh, okay, sorry. Not everybody was in agreement with me. Divine Gun was saying second Philly game, final answer.
Boom, he agrees with us.
I agree with him. He's a smart man.
Let's just say though, that last run, tough.
So the second one is also a mental game. Aaron Rodgers on the Jets. So not that it's the most important game. It's week 2.
You know what the most important game is? The fucking whoever we're playing in the divisional round.
Yes,
that's the most important game.
Guess what? That was not the question.
I don't care. That to me, that's the most important game. If they're not making the divisional round, like who cares? I don't care if you lose to San Francisco or Philly in the regular season. Get to the postseason, get to the divisional round, win that motherfucking game, son.
Raj, just play what if.
Yeah, I did. I said second Eagles game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What impact will Mazi Smith make in 2023?
Immediate.
It has to be. Yep. You don't draft no one drafts a number 1 pick for 2 years. In 2 years.
No, they want him in there right away. Even if it's like Tyler Smith in 2022 when we drafted him, we wanted him in there right away to start. Micah Parsons in 2021. It's just you always want these guys to have immediate impacts. You don't want to wait around for your first round pick. Get him in there and let him bang.
Yeah, and Mozzie is the same scenario for us as Tyler Smith was. Exactly, let him bang. You're just at first you're just like, okay, I get it. I get it why we're picking him, but it's like it's not a sexy pick. Why didn't we pick this person instead of that person? And then you start looking into how he's going to fit into the system and definitely fills multiple needs that our team needed. So immediate impact, even if it improves us by 10%, it's an improvement in the right direction.
Definitely
from week 1.
We weren't happy with the pick when we had been sitting there for 3 hours drinking when we first had the Cowboys draft Mozzie Smith, because we had done a bunch of pre-draft analysis and picks and mock drafts, and we never really had taken him. So we were all kind of like bummed out a little bit. But now I think he's in the perfect spot. He's the perfect player to get in on the team and make it an immediate impact. And I'm excited to watch him. I'm excited for this whole defense.
We got Ultra Cowboy saying, book it, keep the receipt. Mozzie will be better than Jalen Carter.
I fucking would love that so much.
He also then says Cowboys 187 the draft. I'm just going to quickly read through some of these. And then, and then Mozzie will be this is from our boy, Boots on the Ground, Eric. Mozzie will be the number 1 factor to why Micah Parsons wins Defensive Player of the Year. I love that take.
Pencil it in.
Our boy R2 says, Cowboys fan, if the Cowboys can't stop the run, you can't win the playoffs. Cheers, go Cowboys, America's team.
Facts.
I mean, the consistency of Rolando Rodriguez in cheering Go Cowboys, America's team. I mean, I fucking
Unprecedented.
love it.
Unprecedented.
That's got to be a control P.
Yeah.
Love him. 10 out of 10.
Control
10
V.
out of 10.
10.
Control V.
I hope it's not. I hope he's typing it out
it's
every time.
I hope it's organic every time. Look, I agree with Bot G, man. Mozzie's he's coming in there to just eat up time. We saw the way that Micah did look tired. You know,
Facts. He did. He looked burnt out by week 10, week 13.
And
he looked burnt out.
And what Mozzie's going to be able to do is come in there and just make sure that Mike is not going to have to fight so hard every single down. He's going to get double teamed still, but you laughing at Adams?
Yes, yes.
Little.
Sorry, not only was I clinking, but the ice that I had in there melted, and as I was holding like there to try to get it out for AJ, to give him hand ice. It just spilt all over my pants.
It's all right. Audio listeners are like, what the fuck is this ASMR going on right now?
Click, 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 click.
Plink, plink,
Hey,
plink,
you know, sometimes when we're clinking them and drinking them, you just gotta go with it, right?
But look, final thought is, in hindsight, you're right. Now, much more than three hours, or much more than 10 minutes after the pick, when we had our first reaction, a huge hole has been filled. It alleviates the need of producing a stronger run-stopping linebacker, and it can kind of change the speed of your defense, because now if you're able to clog a hole on that first line, well, you still have a second line there of your linebackers. What are they going to do, right? It just gives you more options, and I think that's exciting.
Well, we all talk about how much it's going to help Micah Parsons having Mozzie Smith. I'm excited to see what it does for Leighton Vander Esch and Damone Clark.
Yeah, that's
absolutely
a good point.
That's what I'm excited to see.
You get a player like Micah Parsons, who obviously, as a whole, makes the defense come alive. You see someone, cranking out the plays that Micah does, and it kind of elevates everybody. But you have in the trench player who is going to not only elevate that line, but people right behind him, the LVEs. You're going to take a decent player and make him become automatically a better player.
If the center and guard have to double team our first round draft pick, and the Wolf can just hunt,
what other team has a Wolf and a Lion? It's like we have two.
Game fucking over, son.
Yeah. Wolf and the Lion.
So don't read 13, and I know as soon as I say that, you're going to look over and read it, but number 12, do Cowboys have NFL's best corner duo?
I was going to say, just click the thing.
I know.
Do Cowboys have NFL's best cornerback duo? I'm saying based on their past performances, yes. I'm gonna say it. Yes, I do. Honestly, even with Anthony Brown, I thought the Cowboys last year had one of the top.
Why would they use a picture like that they both look unsure of that question?
That's why they did it. That's why they did it.
I don't know. And then
cheeky.
Fucking
who's Dorky McGee on the fucking left side of it?
This looks like one of those Dazakhstanian fucking fighters that's like just come from UFC and just they're on the side.
But don't they buzz
I
it?
wrestled bear.
You know what? I as I see that, I definitely need to cop a plain gray Dallas Cowboys shirt like that.
That shirt
Sexy.
is fucking mint. That shirt is mint.
I have a blue one, but it got all whatever
vaped up.
I washed it too much, so it's all fucked up.
Sorry, one.
Oh yes, yeah.
There's one comment that I was waiting to say, and it didn't. I got to say it now so I don't forget. Botg Eric says, AJ don't even know how many edibles I'm going to hook him up with. Vape 10 times 100.
Bring it.
AJ's not an edible guy. I'm the edible guy. So
I'll just be cracking him if you got him, son. I don't think edibles will work on Vape 10 over there. I honestly think I don't think they'll work against them.
Chew them if you goo them.
If you goo them.
The biggest competition is Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard.
Yeah, that's a great one. But Jalen Ramsey did not have a good season last season. At me, bitch. At me. They did not have a good season last year. Trevon Diggs is up. He's just keep going up and up and up. and Gilmore hasn't slowed down. Gilmore's still playing like he's a top 10, top 5 even premier cornerback. So I'll argue this to the death. I argued before the season last year with a lot of people that Trevon Diggs was a top 10 cornerback. People wouldn't even put him in the top 10.
I mean, in
my mind, he played in a top 5.
Yeah, and most recently, he's a top 8.
He's getting respect. I'll say he's getting
respect.
a lot more respect this offseason than he did in the 2022 offseason, which is I like to see. He just needs to tackle a little bit more.
Yeah, I say it's a concrete top 3, and in my mind, top 2 duo.
Yep. I'd be okay with that. I said 1 because I'm a bit of a homer, but
no,
top 3,
I agree with you. I'm just saying I don't think anyone's going to argue with you if you say they're top 2. Top
okay,
3.
so we got
anyone that's going to argue with me. I'm going to be able to argue.
Yeah,
more gooder.
So chat saying, so Divine Gun saying, oh, they nice, but I like ours because we got like 5 deep cornerbacks.
Yep.
Yep.
Ultra Cowboy says Jalen is more of a slot safety type now. Gilmore and Diggs are better.
Agreed.
And
I do
then,
agree.
And then Divine Gun says, yeah, K Joseph is our 5th best CB. So that's which
should be.
He should be. And then here's a great question too. R2 says, Cowboys Cam fan, do you think Diggs might hold out for a new contract? Cheers, crack him if you got him. Go Cowboys, America's team.
Woo!
You haven't heard much of it this year, which I'd say prior to free agency and between kind of the Super Bowl and the draft, there was a little bit of rumbling that Diggs would be holding out. And I kind of expected it, but so close to training camp, I feel like you would have heard more rumblings than what you've heard. So I hope he doesn't.
You know what Diggs might be doing too is wants to go out there and combine his last 2 seasons into one season where he gets a little bit more interceptions, but still plays that really smart boomer bust game that he does. If he has an outstanding season, I'm not saying that he needs to match his interceptions, but let's say he comes away with 6. Woo!
Oh yeah,
and plays the same type of shutdown. See, I mean, like
you're throwing so much. You got to throw so much money at him.
I was gonna say, do you think that's possible for him to? I mean, yes, he could do half the amount of interceptions and be a shutdown corner. So I think that's probably I don't think you could get as many interceptions as you have without giving up the yardage that he had because you're taking more chances on stuff.
But
right?
you got to put this into account. Also, you have Gilmore in there on the other side. Last year they had Anthony Brown, and then once Anthony Brown got hurt, whoever the fuck we had lined up on the left side. This year, it's like who do you go at? You have to eventually throw to the outside.
Yep.
So he's definitely going to get probably more targets his way. Teams will take a chance at both of them early in games and then kind of decide, or they'll take film from the prior week or the prior couple weeks and decide what corner's playing shittier, and then they'll kind of target them.
Well,
we're in a good situation here.
And look at some of the quarterbacks that they're facing this year who have very high interception. They have high yards thrown, but they still have a high interception rate. You got to be thinking that Diggs or Bland or even Gilly are going to be snapping some of those balls out of the sky. Ultra Cowboy
eating those balls.
Eating these nuts. Penalties for holding out now are no joke. No players held out last year. The CBA makes it tough to hold out, says Ultra Cowboy.
Right.
But if you're going to be one of the top paid players at that position, it ends up being one of those things. Do I take the risk of getting hurt next season or having a really bad year, or do I hold out?
Right.
I think the way that things are structured, and we've gone over this a few times, so remind me if I'm wrong, because I was the one that delivered the information, and you know how that can be.
You know it, dog.
But you can easily look, but I believe it's Diggs next year, someone else, and then 2026 is
Diggs. Yeah. It's Diggs, CD, Micah.
Yes,
those are our big 3.
Yeah. So those are the next. And it probably would go CD, Diggs, Micah, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, do you think they re-sign CD this year, let's say, and then do they go for Micah or Diggs next year? Well, they have to go for Diggs automatically.
They have to do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to sign them the year before the contract.
Yeah.
I would think.
Well, is Diggs
that's why we're talking. If we don't go with Trey this year, if we don't upgrade him re-sign him, this is the year, man. This is your last year with all this allotted money. This is the year. We talk about these windows. We're in this like free agents, or sorry, we're in this cap window, and it's right now. You have 3 of very good players that are top 10 in their positional groupings. Some of them even could be argued top 5.
Yeah.
You have to win with these guys on their rookie deals. There's just no better, you have no other better chance. It's back in 2016. We had Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott. They had amazing years. It's like, oh my God, we got these guys for the next 4 years on their rookie deals. Win now. And they didn't. We squandered it. I hope we can figure out a way to get to the Super Bowl with these young guys on their rookie deals.
I agree. Well, I mean, again, you know my theory on it. I do believe that with the Jerry Jones Netflix series, like they're going all in this year. I still don't think we're done seeing some of the moves that they might have up their back pocket. But here's an interesting thing.
Up their prison purse.
Here's an interesting thing that Ultra is bringing up. He goes, Cowboys will get the Lamb contract done, and they'll franchise tag Diggs. Do you think they'll franchise tag Diggs?
That would be next year. They'd franchise
next year. Yes,
franchise
yeah,
next year. And don't forget, hey, depending what Tony Pollard does this season, he's playing on a franchise tag this year.
Yeah, I do think I do think with TP20, yeah, that's a tough spot. What
we got some great it's win this fucking year,
this year, baby.
What happens? Yeah.
Yeah, because there is no certainty in the backfield right now if TP's not there.
If he's gone, what are you doing? So it's anyways, back to the original question. We're saying they're top 3 duo in the NFL.
Yeah. Last question on the list. Until we get to this again next week, I guess. What position still needs to be addressed besides kicker?
I thought we already addressed it.
Offensive line. In my mind, you need a swing tackle still.
Besides kicker, you said.
I said besides kicker.
Besides kicker.
Okay.
But this is just like, I mean, any position you think that needs work. I mean, to me, it's. Yeah, offensive line, just because the depth that you require to get through a season. Yeah,
just give us a depth player, a half decent depth player, but they might be sold on who they have. And the Cowboys have been very good at offensive line talent. So
the other 2 positions that come to mind are linebacker and running back. Running back's a good one. Yeah. And linebacker, I mean, there's a lot of good potential, but I wouldn't be against getting another vet just to come in there and take some snaps.
I know this might get off topic a bit, but how much cap space do we still have?
Bring it up, AJ. And just on the running back thing, I mean, they're talking about running back in the chat. Ultra Cowboy says great organizations don't pay the running back position. You
don't have to pay him, but it still needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
You still need a player that can actually, like right now we have Tony Pollard and then we have a bunch of question marks.
So there's 20.6 milli estimated.
Ultra Cowboys.
That's a nice amount.
That's a good amount. They might just be sitting on that waiting until camp shakes up, and they'll know. Like the coaches, Dan Quinn, Mike McCarthy, Schottenheimer, these guys know when they go into camp after a week or 2, they'll know what their weak spot is, and maybe they're sitting on this little nest egg to then bring somebody in after.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like I feel like, and it might not even be addressed before season starts. It could be like sitting on that type of skrill.
Oh yeah,
is not a bad thing.
No, it's good.
If it was like, hey, why have we not picked up XYZ player, because that's a glaring hole. We still have holes to fill, but they're not
always.
They're not deep gaping holes that we need to fill. Like they're.
Can you say fill one more time?
They're manageable holes
to fill.
And if that doesn't, hey, guess what? Joke's on you, YouTube. We're already demonetized.
Well, this is the part of the episode where I say fuck you, YouTube.
You can't say that.
Here's the thing.
You can't say that, Anthony.
It's not a large amount, but it's significant enough that if Calvin Joseph was to be cut, it would be 1.3 milli in savings.
Yep.
So that can be the difference between a guy coming on or not for one season. What I like about this 20.6 million is, it gives you a lot of room to move.
Because you can make moves.
And there's also the cap magic that you can do that, you can always squeeze probably another 5 million out of there somewhere just by shifting around. You know how Jerry rearranges decks on the Titanic, baby.
He just yells at Batson.
Yeah. Hey,
Figure it out.
The Batson go
Get
figure
it
it
done. Go to the dungeon and get it done.
You know, my
go
son,
to the salt cave and get it done.
My son was so mad when I made the move to acquire Deion Sanders from my shelf. He was so mad at me.
Which is weird. That seems like such an easy pick. But I'll ask you guys this. With AJ talking about Boss Man Fat, he is a good special team player. And 1.3 million, if you have a guy that is going to be an ace on special teams, it's a tricky one. He's a tricky cut candidate.
Ultra said the exact same thing as you. Joseph makes the team because of his special teams. CJ Goodwin would save them more money. What's CJ Goodwin's cap number?
CJ Goodman. Yeah, who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that guy?
Who's Goodwin? Godwin? You sound like a fucking tire.
Fugazi.
Right there he is, baby.
Well,
no.
600,000 is what his cap is after a June 1st cut. But you know what? It doesn't matter. The amount of cap space doesn't really matter with those two guys. Yeah.
So let's settle. What do we think is our biggest dressing position? Like, what position still needs addressing?
I would like. Oh, for me.
Yeah. Just one pick. Just one pick.
Running back. I just want to see something else. He's speechless.
Yeah.
I thought you guys froze for a sec. I've never seen both of you quiet for more than like 1.2 seconds.
I would say O-line.
So O-line, adds on the O-line, and I have to side with Ad, because even if you address the O-line, this is the thing. If a running back goes down, I feel like your team can still be successful with a plug and play guy. But if your offensive lineman gets so depleted, you're almost fucked, right? And I think the offensive line is one injury away from being in a bad spot. So I would have liked them to address it more in the draft, and they didn't. But running back's a very, very close second.
Well, I mean, so Divine Gun saying our O-line is solid. Yeah, our O-line is pretty solid right now, but as Ant just said,
top five guys
are backup. So it's just the depth in there. And I think that I still have PTSD from our debates over rating our Japanese RPG rating system that we were doing. Because I thought O-line was solid until Ant started to be like, what do you do? And then I felt like I was being attacked. So that's what I assumed.
Hey, we went through these questions. I like this. This is a good filler. That's fun. It's good topics. Good job, Dallas Cowboys.
Gets the juices flowing.
Quick question before we move on.
We got more, baby. So don't you fucking exit or hit back on that browser or hit stop on that podcast, because you can look and see. You live users can't, but I'm telling you right now, if you're looking at that time, at how much time's left, you see that there's more time left. There's more podcasts.
We got more podcasts, baby.
So just fucking chill out,
bro.
okay?
Chill. Crack yourself a cold one. Mix yourself a drink.
Get your hands off the mouse and on your dicks. Or vaginas if you're a female viewer.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Rolando Rodriguez says, Cowboys can't fan. Dak's salary cap hit next counts $59.5 million next year. So do you re-sign him or extend it? Cheers. Go Cowboys, America's team.
Extend. We're going to extend him. Got to.
Oh, yeah.
You got to just keep kicking that can. You got to keep kicking that can. Kick the can. Kick it.
Kick the can until you can pull the rug out from underneath him. That's what you got to do.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah. It's the way of the NFL. He knows it. The NFL knows it.
We call it cutthroat. We call it pirating, cutthroat.
You got to pirate.
Look, or do you trade Dak for DTR?
DTR is getting some.
Ad just went full Forrest Gump there.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, that'll be in 4 years. It could happen.
How did I go full? How did I go full Forrest Gump?
I'll explain it to you off air.
Okay.
Okay. We have a choice here. Choose your own adventure for the pod.
Okay, why don't we ask the chat?
We can ask the chat, but I also want us to be
drivers of this.
Vibing.
Hey,
I'm
the people's champ.
I know, and
I'm the people's champ.
Chat influences very heavily, so I'm never saying no, but
I'm the people's champ.
It's
Okay, here
it's the Can Fan podcast, like Canadian fan.
Oh, come on, what's in the box?
Can fan.
So
Can fan.
we can
Canadian
do
fan?
another kind of side question, which is top 3 wide receiver questions. This is a Landry Hat article, or we can hop into is TP20 the second best running back in fantasy football? Yay or nay? And there's some
I like
articles.
some fantasy football chat.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's hop into that.
do it, baby.
I think we've. I love the questions, but I think we've kind of tired ourselves out with that. We're a little tuckered there. And also, I've made a little thingy for this Tony Pollard.
So you were guiding us through to
this. I left it open, but I didn't argue.
Did Alex just gaslight us? Did you just gaslight us to pick?
Fucking gaslight us.
I did what I got. I did what I had to do.
for the cast.
I did it for the cast.
Okay, so case for Dallas Cowboys, Tony Pollard as fantasy football's second best running back in 2023. This is ball by
Oh my god!
Is this a vape 10? Are we vape 10 over there? Or what?
Oh, not yet.
I'm a little vape.
No, hey, bro, it's the mixed strings, dog.
It could also be the new vape that I got. Is it's numbing my mouth.
Really?
No, look at this name, Dalton Del Don. I mean, it's awesome. I'm not knocking it.
The new vape is numbing your mouth. What did they put yayo in it?
yeah, that's the flavor. Crayo yayo.
Yeah, the flavor's just cocaine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
why is Alex smoking his vape from his nose?
Yeah. Okay. Case for TP is fantasy RB2. I'm just going to read this.
Do you want?
Can I just ask a question? So when
it?
they're saying RB2, like it's case for Tony Pollard as fantasy RB2, do they legit mean that's RB2 out of the whole thing, or are they talking about when you have a roster, he's in an RB2 slot?
I think they're. That's a great question.
We get into it. I think they're saying that the second behind Christian McCaffrey.
Okay,
it looks like.
Gotcha. They're saying as a whole.
Yes.
Sorry, okay,
I know that is a good point.
So Tony
Hopefully we will get clarification on this.
Tony Del Monte, who wrote this article, whatever his name is, says Christian McCaffrey deserves top spot among fantasy running backs given his usage in Kyle Shanahan's offense, even with Elijah Mitchell's factor. But there's a big tier after CMC consisting of 9 running backs with all similar arguments and questions to be ranked next. TP20 is my number 2 fantasy back. His expert consensus rank is the RB9, assuming Zeke doesn't return to Dallas, which he won't.
No.
Pollard averaged 19.3 PPR points when given 10 carries last season, which would have been good for fantasy's RB3. He finished as the RB8 despite seeing fewer than 50% of the snaps in 8 games and totaling a modest 232 touches. Dallas running backs can combine for 524, and Elliott is gone. Pollard won't become a true workhorse getting, I must have that vape in my mouth. Pollard won't become a true workhorse getting 325 touches, but he's averaged 102.3 yards from scrimmage and 0.91 touchdowns during games with a snap rate of more than 50% throughout his career. Now, he's clearly set up by far the most opportunities of his career.
So what they're basically saying in the jargon that this guy wrote is Tony Pollard was a very, very, very good fantasy running back option last season, and he got way less carries and opportunities than the other guys that finished ahead of him. So you do it by, you kind of add in the opportunities he's going to get this season or his expected opportunities, and he should have an amazing year. The only kicker is he's coming off of an injury in their last game.
Yes.
But if he can, when he gets the opportunity and gets those carries, if he can sustain his production like he has, with 50% of the carries, the guy is going to be an absolute force.
Well, he does have a pretty amazing average, 5.2 yards.
That's great. Yeah.
Very impressive. And I do think that he's ran enough that we can think, crack him if you got him. He could probably retain that within, 10%, let's say. So he might drop down to a high 4.9 or something like that.
Which is still amazing.
Exactly. Of course, I just think the more touches you get, then there's just more opportunities for shortstops as there is big breaks. But you're going to get tired. People will catch on to your tricks easier, et cetera, et cetera. So there are some negatives that come with more touches as well. But definitely his numbers don't lie. That 102 yards from scrimmage and 0.91 touchdowns, that's really hot. Really hot. I wonder, is that a better rate than Zeke Elliott?
It's crazy because the if you look at fantasy football, our running backs are definitely not getting the amount of points that you used to see out of them because of how spread out it is, right?
Yeah, because you get the running back by committee, right? But it's one of those things, if you get those top guys, a top running back is so wide receivers, right? Like the reason wide receiver values have went so up in the NFL or in fantasy football is because there's only probably about 5 actual true number 1 wide receivers in the NFL. That's why those guys will go in the first 20 picks, 10 picks. It's the same to be said for running backs. There's only a handful of guys like a Christian McCaffrey, a Derrick Henry. Like there's only a handful of dudes that you'll pick in the first 2 rounds at running back. And Tony Pollard hasn't proven that he's one of those guys yet, but he's one of those bang or boom or bust kind of picks. You could gamble and take TP20 in the second round.
Yeah.
And he could end up having a absolutely insane season. He could have a season for the ages because we don't know what he's going to do with, with 80% of the snaps.
R2 saying Cowboys fan Tony Pollard turns 27 next year. Do the Cowboys run him to the ground or sign him to a new contract? Cheers, go Cowboys.
Run him to the ground, baby.
He definitely doesn't copy and paste because she forgot to say America's team.
If it keeps making sense to just sign him, like if you're gonna have to sign him and the contract that you'd sign him to long term for 4-year deal or 3-year deal, whatever he would accept, if that is equal to what it would cost to tag him, or within a couple million, then I would just keep tagging him at this point. Because he is getting old. And I mean, we've seen a very, very consistent trend when running backs hit 30, or 29 or something like that. Whatever.
It's facts. Yeah. The only thing saving Tony Pollard's stat line or his is he hasn't had the carries like a lot of the other guys at that point. Like Zeke at 27 had already had thousands of carries, right? Where TP20 right now at 27. He doesn't have the same mileage. Sure, he has the broken leg, but he doesn't have the wear and tear on those legs.
Yeah.
But it's scary. It's scary to sign a running back to a second contract.
Now, if we look at his touchdown rate last year compared to Zeke per game, that's what they're looking at is that 0.91. Zeke had 0.8.
Crazy.
And in Zeke's last 4 seasons, he's had a 0.64 touchdown rate. So obviously not a fair comparison because we're looking at this one very, very good year by TP20. But just to show you, that's a really good rate.
That's a good rate. 0.91 is balling. It's
balling. Yeah, so there's his stats last year. So I guess this is why they say that he could be ranked number 2. And it goes on here to list some running backs who are very good running backs, but shows some negatives. And I'll go through those quickly here. Jonathan Taylor is Anthony
Richardson. Mine was DTR.
DTR, oh, okay.
But I did like Anthony Richardson, and I thought he was going to go higher than Will Levis. Will Levis. No, I know, but everybody thought Will Levis was going to go higher than Anthony Richardson.
The analysts, idiots,
stupid.
The analysts.
But
our boy Bijan.
Anthony Richardson is a mobile QB, so it could help. but it might steal. It could help with Taylor's runs, but it could also steal some of those goal line TDs. Bijan Robertson is a rookie QB in a low offense with a former third-round starting QB.
Yeah, so Bijan is gonna.
It's gonna be tough.
Bijan.
Ad hasn't said his name in a while.
Bijan. Like Bijan Robinson is going to be the focal point of that offense. It's going to be a rough year for the guy, or he's going to fucking just prove,
or he's going to dominate
everyone wrong, and that would be awesome.
Or he's going to be like Adrian Peterson's first year, where he was just an absolute, fucking monster.
Yeah, it could be. Austin Eckler is 28 years old, and he's had 25 rushing touchdowns over the last 2 seasons. So
Definitely he's one of those guys where it's like, yeah, he's old, and it's like, when he comes up on your fantasy line when you're going to pick someone, it's like, I don't want to pick Austin Eckler.
They're just saying his touchdowns, which maybe that's how they use them, and that's who cares if but he's only reached 210 carries per season.
Yeah.
Or that was his max, or never reaching. Sorry, 210 carries. Saquon Barkley,
formerly known as Mr. Glass.
Yeah, never stay healthy.
He's still unsigned apparently too.
Yeah, and he's talking about holding out. He's talking about holding out the whole year.
Could that be where someone at 20 million goes?
Hey, welcome to the
all of a sudden.
team.
Welcome. They just bring Saquon in. Nick Chubb. I mean, I like Nick Chubb.
Yeah, and
Nick Chubb.
Chubb is. I think I don't know what they're saying here. Could continue to seed passing down work. Oh, okay, because Deshaun Watson.
So he's not going to be. Yeah, he's not going to be a third down. He's not going to be a third down back the whole time.
Jacobs could hold out as well. Derrick Henry's 29 years old
with a lot of mileage, with a lot of fucking mileage.
Like the tread. I mean, you got to check the tread on those fucking tires. Breece Hall, great, but returning from an ACL injury, so we'll see how that goes. And yeah, so all those guys who potentially could be ahead of him. That's why they're.
How often does it happen in fantasy? You take one of these studs and they just dwindle out or they get hurt, right?
Oh, yeah. If you look at that list the year before, I wonder how many of those guys were on the top. Like, running back is one of those really, really fickle positions. But, for fantasy purposes, you also got to consider what Pollard can do with his hands. I mean, the man, he's magic out there.
Yeah.
He can catch a nice football.
TP20 in the second in any kind of format to me is a fucking steal. If you're sitting there at if you're in a 12 team format and you have TP20 sitting there at 15 or 16, that is a fucking absolute steal.
Yeah. Oh, it's 100%. And I mean, we're all TP20 fans. I think Del Rio or whatever this guy's name and makes a lot of good points on why he's a great choice for fantasy football. But the fantasy football running back situation is just not as a clear cut as it was before. One of the things, actually, here's a quick question before we move on to Alex's next subject.
No, the same subject. Just
Divine Gun says, what do y'all think Ronald Jones and Davis will do?
I think Ronald Jones is going to get cut and Malik Davis is going to be our second option.
Why do you think Rojo's going to be cut?
He played on a team last year that had a 7th round draft pick, and he didn't get any carries. He
imagine he goes, last year it was a 7th round draft pick that got more carries than Rojo, and then this year a 6th round draft pick gets more carries than Rojo.
I don't know. I just think there's obviously he has talent, but he can't block. I don't trust him blocking at all. I don't think he's going to be on. I don't think he's going to be on the team. Rojo's not going to be on the team, and Davis is. I'm excited for Crash Davis. We're huge Crash Davis fans.
Yep. Bodgy Eric says, "Ants took the words right out of my mouth."
That's how we do, bot. That's how we do, baby.
So AJ, you prepped something here for us.
Well, I just made a little.
Toss me once. Oh, you know what? I gotta redo the. Here we go.
Here, while you guys are waiting, watch this one. You won't hear it, but.
Psst, crack them if you got them.
Crack them if you got them.
Crack them if you got them, baby.
This is just a really quick slide. And I'll explain here. I was explaining to Ant earlier.
Yep. Cough them if you cough them.
What I wanted to get down to was like, hey, let's get down to the scientific brass tacks.
Okay.
We're science boys. We're science boys.
Yeah, of the predictions here for TP20. This is just rushing stats. So what we looked at is the last 4 years of Mike McCarthy's tenure in Green Bay and the last 3 years of Vanilla Pudding in with the Dallas Cowboys. And based off of those averages, we wanted to find out how often did these guys rush the ball. And then on another slide, we're looking at, how often did the lead running back, a.k.a. Mr. Zeke Elliott himself, rush the ball? And how much did the last lead running back for Green Bay, Eddie Lacy, which was...
Mike McCarthy was calling plays.
Well, yes, from 2013 to 2015 in Green Bay.
I peed beside Eddie Lacy.
Because I wanted to... What we're looking at there is we want to see... We're trying to gauge out of the total amount of potential run plays that are going to be called, how many are going to go to TP20. Because that allows us to then base all of our other stats off of that number. So that's what we're getting down to. And then I'll explain the last slide too, because it's pretty simple as well.
Just AJ standing naked in a mirror. It's like this slide's super
Now,
weird.
does this look normal?
Yeah. Raise your hand if you blanked out when AJ was explaining what his slide deck said.
I heard him. I was ready for it.
I'm ready for the ride.
I'm just saying, I don't put the math on because who gives a fuck about that? But I just put the results. Okay.
Okay, here we
Great,
go.
Great.
Whoa.
I like this. I like this. I like this. I need to get this sent to me. This is tomorrow's IG post.
Oh, yeah. You'll get it, my brother.
At Cowboys Can Fan.
Yeah. So we got Mike McCarthy
Like and subscribe.
staring down Vanilla Pudding in his playing days.
In his fucking Bieber haircut. Like, you can tell when he was drafted.
But this is the average rushing attempts throughout these times for Big Mike 2015 to 2018 and Vanilla Pudding 2019 to 2020. So 39% of the time, Big Mike rushed the ball, and 44% of the time, Vanilla Pudding rushed the ball. The average, when we totaled both of their numbers together, was 41%. So let's take that number as the amount of times that they're going to probably rush the ball in Dallas.
Okay.
Right. I like that.
They did say is going to be a mix, right? So
They said they're not completely throwing the playbook out. They're going to keep some stuff from the Kellen Moore era and
Texas toast, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Texas toast.
I will say though, there were 2 years in that average, and I don't know how the fuck this worked out, but this is just how averages work out, I guess. Where Big Mike actually rushed 43 times, 43%. Sorry.
I was gonna say there's no that's wrong. Yeah, 43%. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. So there were years where he did rush much more.
Right.
But the average is good. I think that makes sense too. So next we have our average carry rate of Eddie Lacy 2013 to 2015 and Zeke Elliott 2019 to 2022. So
Very similar.
Very similar. Eddie Lacy got the ball when it was a rush 56% of the time. Zeke 54% of the time, for an average of 55%. Okay. Now we got something to work off of here.
He's a stat man.
So what I did is then I took those numbers and kind of broke down our estimates for this year.
Look at your little smoky background that you got going on there.
It's pretty cool, right?
I like it.
I like it.
Then we got what it came down to basically, after all the math, and I could be off by one or two, but I think it's pretty damn close. But I believe Tony Pollard will end up with 237 carries, 1,232 yards, and 9.5 touchdowns. How 9.5? It's kind of that plus or minus, I guess. If he gets over 9, if he gets 10,
Would you guys be satisfied with that? With these stats?
Now, keep in mind, this is just his rushing stats.
Right, but
Okay.
I'm just asking, would you be satisfied?
I think I would be acceptable of it. I would like to see more touchdowns.
Can we do some quick math here?
Yep.
Divide 1232 by 237. What's his average? I want to know what his average is there. Please. I guess I could do that. I
Oh,
also have a
it's
computer.
exactly 5.1, 5.2. That's what I based it off of. So
I'm game with that. I'm game with that.
Yeah. I took his I took what the carries that he would probably have based off of the number of carries that Mike McCarthy is probably going to call running plays, and it came out to 237. Then I took 237 times 5.2, and that's 1232.
Okay, so you use his average from last year to get. I see.
Yeah, I handicapped his touchdowns a little bit, so the high side of his touchdowns could actually be 15.
I would have liked to have. I was going to say the only thing I don't really like is the touchdowns. I feel like with that yardage and the type of production that he's going to do, regardless if it's receiving, because I think he's going to get some receiving touchdowns.
Yeah.
But I feel like 12, it would be probably more in line with what 12 to 13, 11.5, 12.5, something like that.
No. This is, so I base this off.
This is science, I get
so,
it.
Okay, no, fair question, fair question. I took the amount of touchdowns over the last, an average over the last 4 years for Zeke and Tony Pollard, or 3 years, sorry, and I divided it by the amount of carries, and I got a touchdowns per carry ratio, and that's how the 9.5 came. I was surprised too.
Okay.
Because it technically should be higher, but this is also just TP's numbers, so it's not necessarily based off of getting the ball in a situation, and that's why I say he could probably be actually over 15 touchdowns.
Oh, his ceiling is a lot much higher. My question, when we looked at that 0.91, his touchdown ratio.
Yeah.
What was that based? What's that based off of?
That's just
that 0.91.
That's just last year, I believe. Let me go look at
but
that.
It's 0.91 off of every what though?
Yeah, I'm gonna go look at that right now and see.
Because that would be interesting. Because if you look at Zeke's, who had 12 touchdowns last year and had a less average touchdown ratio than TP20, I'd be interested to see if we could get that number in to see if it kind of clears up some of this a little bit. I would be happy if TP20 gets 9 touchdowns, 1,200 yards on 230 carries. That's good. It's just hopefully.
Sorry, Anth.
No, let's hear it.
This is what it is. So
here we go, baby.
With a snap rate of more than 50% throughout his career. So when he's getting the ball 50% or more, more than 50%, that's when he averages 102 yards and a 0.91 touchdown ratio.
Gotcha.
So it's when he's being fed the ball more.
Right. So that's kind of a hard stat to do in this hypothetical situation.
Yeah, but here's the interesting thing: the Cowboys have averaged a rushing touchdown every 25 carries. Isn't it interesting that when the Cowboys rush the ball more than 24 times and they're winning, it also aligns with their touchdown frequency ratio?
Yep.
That's the science.
Shrug. I don't know. I'm just saying that was a really interesting stat to notice.
It's kind of like when we looked at it when the Cowboys run the ball more than they pass, they win those games. Like the stats were all there.
And in fairness, it's not that.
And we're just Googling.
It's not that Kellen Moore didn't rush the ball. He did, but it's also
he passed
about
more.
Yeah, but well, no, like I don't know. It's the timing, I guess, of the rushes. Do the rushes make sense? Like, okay, you rushed the ball 3 times. You should have fucking passed it. Now we're kicking. Like, I think that's the type of thing that really that is showcased.
Sorry,
like I said about YouTube, I say it about Kellen Moore. Fuck Kellen Moore.
No, I see the scene. I watched the Rain Man the other night, and there's scenes with Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman and he's writing on his booklet like this, and Tom Cruise is like freaking out at him. I could just imagine Mike McCarthy being Tom Cruise and Kellen Moore being Rain Man.
We should make that. We should make that meme.
Oh, I'll find the clip for you.
That's good. If we could get it, if we could get Mike McCarthy's face. That's funny.
Here's a quick little question before we go to the next topic. R2 says, Cowboys can't find great information on the Cowboys. When are you going live again? Good night from South Texas. Stay safe. Cheers, Cowboys, and always go Cowboys. Next
Sunday, baby.
AJ's gone.
I'm gone Sunday, but Matt, I'll be with Vink, and he said we could bring our gear and maybe match up
Sunday, baby. Sunday, baby.
If it would work, then let's do it.
Sunday, baby.
So Sunday
we can do something fun. We'll make a fun one out of it.
Ant's gonna go back into the Thailand seat and rock Be My Chewy.
I love that seat. When AJ came back, I was low key upset. To be
Like
honest,
Han
I was
Solo
I kind of liked it. I felt like I had the one ring to rule them all.
Yeah.
I had all the control, and then I just went back to getting drunk on a couch.
Yeah,
Which is just equally as fun.
You're more focused when you're over on this side.
I am a little bit.
One quick
But
thing.
peace out, R2.
Just
see R2.
Peace out, brother. One quick thing I'd like to look at.
We don't have to be quick.
No.
Ant's rushing through the intro. You're trying to quickly go through topics. Hey, it's Wednesday night main event. Just chill.
I know, and we have more to talk about. This is just kind of I don't know, a spin-off of the fantasy football TP20.
I was also kidding. I'm very hungry, so we can rush as fast as we want.
Well, mixed signals. Ugh.
That's what happens when you're mixing drinks on the main event, baby.
Ads full on Sunday service ad right now.
Kind of.
Oh yeah.
No food and frickin'
food and triples.
Quads.
He's going off.
Hey
the
AJ, what do you got? What do you got going here? What's this little side story you got going on?
No, what I wanted.
What's your side quest?
My side good. Yeah, our side quest. We're gonna look at the fantasy. We're keeping on a little fantasy football here because we haven't dipped our toe in, and I think the waters are warm. Peace out, GUN. I mean, that's a hard name to say, man.
Divine Gun.
Divine Gun.
Yeah, there you go.
I want to look at the Dallas Cowboys players
Can I bring
rankings. Yeah, you can bring it up now. For
not
fantasy
not as hard as Malik though.
Divine Gun, yeah. Malik.
You know, I avoided saying his name earlier.
I know you did.
But now this is what I'm going to call him.
Crash
Dr. MD.
Dr. MD, I like it. Hey, that's good.
Oh, Crash Davis.
I thought you were just going to call him Crash Davis. I got to get the Crash Davis soundbite.
No, but once Zeke left, I just don't feel comfortable
calling him Crash.
I feel like wrestlers, you got to rebrand and have him come out, and he's the Dr. MD to me.
Okay.
I like that explanation.
Well, we'll see. He might not be the doctor out there.
All it takes is one run of him steamrolling someone, and he's right back to Crash Davis.
Oh yeah, absolutely true. Okay, so fantasy football. Let's look at where the Dallas Cowboys players are ranked. We'll just go through like the mains. Okay, the QB, the RB, the WR, the TE, and the I don't know, kicker and defense. I guess will be fun, and then maybe we might peek at Mike. Just have a little peeky, right?
Do you want another drink? Because I got some more.
Just fucking.
Okay, here we go, baby.
And let's look at the Cowboys players and then see if we agree or not. It's a fantasy football ranking, so it's based on points. Crack him if you got him. But I mean, we're smart enough; we can take that in. And also, we got to kind of prep for our. One of us needs to win the league that we've been in for.
Yeah.
Should we put it on? Should we coerce?
No, I can't do that. But I will favor trades because that's real.
You know what? I might do more trades this year.
No, but
I never do trades.
You can favor, like, you can be like, I'm not going to trade fucking Revin anything. No. He gets nothing from me.
Never.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got here? Let's go through our main Cowboys.
What do we got? What do we got? We're going to take, since we were talking about Tom Cruise earlier, we're just going to take a cocktails break.
Excellent. And we got Dak Prescott on deck here. They've got him ranked number 10, a tier 3 player. What do you think?
Dak Prescott tier 3?
Yeah, here's
top
his
10?
Here's his projections on the right. They project him for 29 touchdowns and almost 14 interceptions. He's
gonna have more than 29 touchdowns if he's healthy for more than 15 games. 15 games and up, he's gonna have more than 29 touchdowns. You can pencil that in.
Yeah, I say 32 is a minimum, and 35 is very probable.
In the 30s, definitely in the 30s. he's always going to get disrespect in this situation because they're going to look at last year.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott is going into the season healthy. If he can stay healthy, he is going to be a very, very, very good football player and a very, very good fantasy football steal because a lot of people are going to shy away from him.
Well,
so which one of us are taking him?
Me, I'll take Dak. I'll take Dak every single time.
Me too.
I took him
if I can. But the Dak is set to do 310 points, and then the top is of course Patty Mahomes, and he is set to do 383. So there's really not a terrible amount of difference between the two.
And if you can get Dak in the 5th round instead of taking Patrick Mahomes in the first 2 rounds,
steal. That's actually a really good trade. Think about that. That's huge. That's 70 points divided by whatever. Alex, you have a fucking calculator right here.
Do it.
And then you take CeeDee Lamb in the 2nd, and you got the combo.
How many
the
games?
Triplets? Tony Pollard at some point. Boosh, baby.
Is it 16 games that a season is now, or 17?
No, so
Or
yeah,
16?
but fantasy football isn't like that. Fantasy football, I think, is usually
regular season is
13 games. It's like 13 games that you play in fantasy football, and then week 14,
Hey,
15, 16
so
are the postseason.
It could make or break, but it's a 5-point per game difference.
But that's not that huge.
It's not
compared
that
to
huge.
if you can get a quarterback like Dak in the later rounds, opposed to taking Patrick Mahomes. I'll take Dak all day. All day. I'll take the Dak all day.
So if
you will take the Dak all
if this
day.
is where people are drafting him on this tier and you get a chance, I mean, I don't think I play all keeper leagues, so he's never available, of course. But if it's a redraft and you get a chance in the 5th or so round, that's a fucking pretty good steal, I think.
If you want to take Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson ahead of Dak Prescott, go for it. That's better for me. That's better for me in fantasy football. I'm sitting there and everyone's gonna go, Bessie's about to take Dak, and I go, fucking right, so I'm gonna take Dak all day, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, the critical error I made last season, and I got fucking. It happened within seconds of Ant saying it to me.
What?
When Dak got injured, I needed to make a move in this bullshit 2 quarterback lead that I'm in. I was like, okay, well, I'll drop Dak this week, play a quarterback, and then I'll bring another I'll drop him and I'll bring Dak back. And I fucking dropped him, and I said that to Anthony. He's like, "What are you stupid? Like someone's gonna pick?" I'm like, "No one's gonna pick him up. They all fucking flame me for drafting all Cowboys." And sure enough, like literally as I dropped him, he got picked up, and I was like, "Fuck me! I can't believe I don't know what I was thinking."
I mean, they're gonna trick you because they know that you will react to it.
Yeah,
and then they'll fucking swallow up those Cowboys players because they're points makers. All right, on to RBs. I mean, really, TP20, number 9. Pulling up his numbers here.
They have Bijan instead of TP20 up there.
So, yeah, well, Bijan because he's a fucking number 1.
I know.
Rookie running back. But here's what they think for Tony Pollard. Under what I said, they say 217.
By a lot.
Yeah, by a lot. 217 attempts. 1,091 yards and only about 8 touchdowns.
We love it. No respect. This is what we want, man.
Yeah.
We want this.
That is no respect.
We want this. That's no respect. That's not even using math.
You're not even fucking using math. Do I have to call up fantasypros.com?
Fucking budget website.
Now, in fairness, I believe that they use a collection method. So
Tony Pollard's gonna have his best season as an NFL running back this year.
Yeah. I could.
And then if he does, Cowboys still need to release him and not pay him. Let another team pay him.
Agreed. I honestly do agree.
I'd
Use
say
him
this,
and abuse him.
He's amongst exceptional company.
Yep.
In tier 2.
And he's a tier 2. The last, but he's still a tier 2 player.
I don't agree with Bijan being tier 1 though.
Me neither. Like, what are you doing?
Well,
tier 2, sure.
Josh Jacobs should be closer to tier 1 than.
I would switch out Jacobs with Bijan.
Absolutely, yeah. The guy was an animal.
And I feel like Jacobs should probably be a little bit ahead of Austin Eckler. He should be ahead of Austin Eckler as well.
Yep.
It's Eckler's fucking TDE
potential. But now, do they have?
He puts some tugs up.
Click on Josh Jacobs for a second. Do they have him ranked down there because he's holding out?
That could be it.
Yeah, the first line, Josh Jacobs was arguably the most valuable fantasy asset during the fantasy football regular season based on his finish as the RB2 overall in relation to a Super Chief draft day ADP.
That's not it.
Better put Bijan ahead of him.
No, this is what I want to look at. So Tony Pollard, they say he's going to have 229 points. Christian McCaffrey, 268. Even less.
Yeah.
Well,
Tony Pollard,
McCaffrey, they a lot of receiving stats from him.
Yeah, but
and
Pollard is no slouch there.
Nope.
Now, dumb question. I'm
Yep.
allowed to ask one dumb question.
Shoot.
In fantasy, if CMC or TP20, they get receiving touchdowns or receive catches, it still allocates points to their
RB position. Yeah.
RB position,
Yep.
right? Yeah, okay.
They're still, it's still that.
Yeah,
that-
like if you're in a PPR and he gets a reception, he gets the half point
Yeah,
or
okay.
1 point, depending what kind of structure you're in. But yeah, it just adds.
I mean, it was a dumb question because
it's a fair question.
When I picked Patterson up on that steal, not last season but the season before, like he was by far the best player on my team, and he carried me.
Well, that's why guys like Christian McCaffrey are so. He's basically a wide receiver that also gets rushing yards.
Yeah,
like he's so good. He's basically two players in one position.
Yeah, which again we
Right.
talked about it. You know, TP20 has that type of playability. So if half of his snaps are going to be, if he's on the field double the amount of time, but half of his snaps are going to be for receiving yards, like I'm fine with that.
Guys, I'm just looking at the AJ as CD Lamb up here what the fuck are these guys?
I know.
predicting?
That's why I don't know if you were looking at my face.
I'm looking at this shit. How is CD Lamb only gonna be predicted for 7.8 touchdowns? That's like if he doesn't have more than 10 this year in his fourth year, I'm calling it a disappointing season for CD. I'm expecting 10 plus touchdowns, 1,400 yards. That's my floor for CD this year.
Well, it's also they have this 97 reception, and I just cannot see him getting less than what he got last year.
What were his receptions last year?
Like what? Like listen to how this sounds. So you're giving 8, let's say 8 touchdowns for a wide receiver one. They're like he was one of the league's elite talents. Even with Mike McCarthy calling plays in 2023, Lamb remains primed for another a wide receiver one campaign. Why are you giving a wide receiver one only 7 touchdowns or 8 touchdowns?
Well, in 97, he had 107 last year. He had 107 receptions last year. Why is he lower than that? The guy's been trending up his whole career, and now he actually has a very viable 2 option with Brandon Cooks. Of him. I just don't see these unless CD misses a couple games. I don't see these numbers happening. Last year, CD met my expectations. I had said what I thought his stats should be, and he was right around that. If he's not at 1,400 yards, 105 receptions, and 10 touchdowns, that's a down year in my mind for CD Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 227 is his points, and the top here, Justin Jefferson, is 262.
So they do TD rate kind of weird because they only have Jefferson at an 8.4 touchdowns.
It's probably super conservative. Obviously,
a lot of yards. They have him getting a lot of yards, a lot of receptions, obviously because he did. What do they have Chase at? I want to see his touchdowns there.
10.
Yeah, 10. So I don't know.
And he's the highest.
Kind of weird. Yeah, that he's got, and I mean Chase is a stud, but I think CD Lamb is just as good as Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, and I'll argue to the death about that.
Yeah, and I just want to find Cooks.
There he is right there, baby. 41.
Cooks 41. I mean, I think he's going to prove to be a boom compared to what they have him ranked here. I really do. I really think Cooks is going to look at what he did last year in of course I think he did get injured. But with a fucking dog shit Houston team.
Yeah.
And the guy consistently gets 1,000 yards. Otherwise, I mean,
dude, he could be such a good sleeper on a lot of teams.
Oh man. So here's what they say. Expert note: last year, Cook saw his fantasy value crater as Pep Hamilton tried to pigeonhole him on a low A-dot role early on, which crushed his productivity. After week 8, Hamilton returned to his sense and transitioned Cooks to his field stretching role. Once the switch was made, his yards per route jumped from 1.39 to 1.86. His A-dot climbed from 8.6 to 15.3 during this time. Cooks might not be a young pup anymore, but his top 25 rankings in route, win rate, and win rate against man coverage last year dispel any notion that he's turned to dust.
He's and he's going to be one of the fastest guys on the Cowboys offense.
Yeah. Well, like it said right there, once they put him back into the stretch the field role, he saw a major increase. Cook should return wide receiver 3 and 4 value with room for more. Oh, they're talking about fantasy football.
I think it's perfect. It's a perfect concoction to have CD just fill the slot, 99% of the fucking time, and then have Cooks and Gallup on the outside. And if you're going to bring in a 4th, I mean, whoever the hell it is, it doesn't really matter at that point. Look at those targets.
That's what you have to do. You have to do that. Cooks, Gallup on the outside, CeeDee Lamb just terrorizing people in the middle with one-on-one matchups. And if you do decide to double team CeeDee Lamb, well, now you got one of these guys, either Gallup or Cooks, that's about to take the top off you. Man, I'm excited for this fucking wide receiver trio, man. Gallup's going to have a comeback season. Cooks is going to have a redemption season. And then CD's just going to get better and better. It's perfect.
Boner alert.
And the only thing
we're
going to look for here is, okay, Jake Ferguson we have at number 38 for tight ends, tier 5. And
tight ends is one of those positions where 35 is way down there, right? Like there's probably only like 8 viable positions at tight end spots in fantasy football. Like 30,
not even
35th.
A picture for Scooney.
They're not even they Scooney 235, 1 touchdown. Well, if it's
looking like a X-Men Sentinel.
Yeah. From the fucking cartoon.
Schooner is a sailboat.
Okay, well, I think that's pretty much all for the. What the fuck is going on here?
Don't worry, I already got off your screen.
Okay, good. I think that's it for the fantasy. I mean, really, I
like going down fantasy lane.
Yeah, I really just wanted to look at QBRB and wide receiver. There's a couple more articles we can hit, or we can wrap up. What are you guys feeling?
I think we hit it good. I think we had a good episode, guys. We went through a lot of stuff. We talked fantasy football. We talked NFL life. We talked life, things that were happening. I like how it played out. I'm pretty good with it. AJ, are you rolling Sunday with us, or you don't know yet? We'll know in later.
I totally can. Me and Vink will bring his Studio V, Studio B equipment.
Okay, well, either way, Bandwagon Boy 1 and Ants Best will be podcasting this Sunday for the Sunday service. It's been a couple weeks since we've done that. Hopefully AJ and Vinky Boy can be there. But for the Bandwagon Boys chilling in the studio and me, I'm actually in Dallas right now. Look at the skyline.
Hey-o.
It's beautiful. We'll be back Sunday. Thanks for tuning in. Love everyone. Love y'all. Cowboys Nation, let's go, baby.
Peace.